What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters. Welcome to No Life to Metal. It's time for a rock metal update. That's right, time for a rock metal update. Alright, this is a rock metal update. It's going to be more 7-inch singles, all Canadian bands. I've just got this pile of singles that I've been holding on to do a video on, and they just keep growing and growing, and so I started I just did a 60s episode, and those were all in that pile, and these were all in that same pile. So these are mostly 70s, some 80s stuff, but all Canadian bands, starting off with one of my favorites. I love Pat Travers. This is the Pat Travers band. This is, I believe, a UK pressing of Boom Boom, Out Go the Lights, live. Backed with, okay, I didn't put the single in the right way, so I can't see the B-side. The B-side is Go All Night. This one's, it's kind of weird. It's kind of a bummer too, but I saw how well. See, it's not very shiny. It's got this like film on it, and I don't know what happened to it, but it won't come off, and it's a bummer. So it plays okay, but it's kind of noisy. So I'm kind of looking for another copy of this one. Yeah, it's just not in great condition. Unfortunately, the seller said it was in better condition than it was, but he ended up refunding half of my money back because, yeah, that's just not right. But I'm gonna keep an eye out for another copy of this one. It's, you know, it'll show up eventually, I assume. A lot of these picture sleeves don't show up very often. This one I was just in a store digging, and I was in I think. See, I was in California at White Rabbit Records, and they had these just discount bin stuff on the bottom that were not even priced. And I looked over to the guy and I just pulled a few out. He's like, "Hey," I'm like, "How much are these singles?" And he goes, $3 each." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." So anyhow, I picked up this Aldo Nova single for Fantasy. I think it's a great song. I kind of like Aldo Nova. I'm not the biggest fan in the world. It's kind of your 80s, 70s, late 70s, early 80s AOR, backed with Under the Gun. But Fantasy's a great song. I'm sure everybody's heard that song before. Yeah, and he's a great guitar player too. So I don't remember if he actually ended up charging me $3 or less, but because I ended up buying a bunch of stuff and he gave me a nice discount. So Japanese single, I've been talking about this band a bit lately, especially if you've seen my if you're part of my Facebook page. But yeah, this is Teaze. They were a mid-70s and went into the 80s band. They were, metal before metal was really a thing in the 70s. Kind of have a poppy hook to their sound, but they are really rocking for the 70s. So this is, excuse me, let's see if I can actually read this thing in the dark here. So this is Rockin' with the Music, backed with Dirty Sweet Woman, and trying to see if there's a year on this one or not, because I did not write down what year it was, and I don't see one, so whatever. But really pretty, really nice packaging. This is obviously a Japanese pressing, and it has the original sleeve as well, which is nice, because yeah, I don't think I've ever even seen a Teaze single with a picture sleeve, no less a Japanese pressing. Alright, this is April Wine. It does not have the correct sleeve, it's just a white sleeve, but this is So Bad, and the whole world's gone crazy on the Aquarius label, which was their Canadian label. Usually they came in a sleeve that looks more like this one, but this is April Wine. This is actually a promo single, so you'll see the two different sides, but this is I'm on Fire for You Baby, and it's got the mono and the stereo pressing. And someone wrote on this one, "Good rock," and they wrote that on the mono side. So I don't know if this was a radio playing this one or where this one came from, but that is the correct sleeve. It was distributed by Atlantic Atco, and that's the sleeve that belongs with it. And I believe the Aquarius label also were in those sleeves, but those sleeves don't show up very often here in the United States. All right, some more April Wine. This is Ladies Man, backed with Advantage. This is a UK pressing on the Topic label. That's a capital Topic, so you can see it's got both labels on there. And then we've got a few different picture sleeves of this one, and this is a German pressing of Sign of the Gypsy Queen, backed with Crash and Burn. Fantastic track. I mean, I love the the album this came off of, and the name of it's slipping my mind, because, you know, I get on camera and get stupid for some reason. Nature of the Beast. There you go. You didn't have to look. So there you go. April Wine, Sign of the Gypsy Queen. Great live shot. It's actually the same image that's on the cover. You can see got the tiger face, or I guess that's a tiger, right? Yeah, it's a Bengal tiger. All right, another April Wine song, Tell Me Why, backed with Runners in the Night. This is a Canadian pressing on Capitol Records picture sleeve. Another Canadian band, fantastic power trio. This is American Girls by Triumph. See, this is a... I don't know. European pressing. It's a European pressing. I think it's a UK pressing. It doesn't say Germany on nowhere, but I'm not 100% positive. Always love that image of the band on stage. Fantastic live shot. You know, just a great song. I love the early, especially the 70s and the early 80s Triumph stuff. They got a little more, I don't know about commercial, but the production just got more and more slick as the band moved on into the 80s, and to the point where it was just kind of robbing the band of their, you know, that raw rock and roll feel, which was kind of a bummer to me. But anyhow, this is a promo, mono stereo promo of Mind Games from Triumph, MCA label, white label promo. It is in a MCA sleeve. I've shown a lot of Rush singles that I've owned over the years, and I'm not finding a whole lot more cheap these days. Rush singles sell for quite a bit of money. This one's a bit oversized, so it doesn't fit in a regular sleeve. 4-track EP. It's got two 7-inch singles in it. So you got The Big Money and Territories, and it's got Closer to the Heart and The Spirit of the Radio. And let me see if I can get this out of the sleeve. It is a nice little gatefold. So I picked this one up quite a while ago. I just hadn't shown it yet. Like I said, I got tons of stuff in here that I've had for a while that I just hadn't had the time to show yet. So it's going to take a bit to get that back in the sleeve. All right, two from the same artist, two of the same songs, but this one is the Canadian pressing, one is the U.S. pressing of the very first single, the very first thing released from Mahogany Rush, which is, of course, Frank Marino, Mahogany Rush. This is All in Your Mind and Buddy, and I believe Buddy was the A-side. And I gotta look it up. It's gonna drive me crazy because I don't remember what year it was. 1972, it looks like. Yes, 1972. And this is, like I said, the Canadian pressing. And then 1973 was the U.S. pressing of the same single on a different label. This is on 9 Records, All in Your Mind and Buddy. So I have both of the original pressings. Like I said, the very first thing ever released by the Hendrix prodigy known as Frank Marino and his band Mahogany Rush. I mean, here they weren't even called Frank Marino Mahogany Rush. They were just called Mahogany Rush. All right, some more Mahogany Rush. This is Child of the Novelty, and a New Rock and Roll. And I believe this is a U.S. pressing. It says pressed in Los Angeles, so yes, it is. 20th Century label. Another Canadian band. I really like this band. Their first album is my favorite. It's kind of the heaviest of the bunch, but this is the Boys in the Bright White Sports Cars. These guys had a really great way of writing, just really keeping it heavy and raw, but also having great hooks. And this song is definitely one of their hookier songs. Kind of has like a power pop vibe, not unlike maybe like a Cheap Trick or even maybe like the Cars. You know, just has that huge hook with the meaty guitars. But yeah, this is a promo single with it's got the stereo and mono. Actually, this one's stereo on both sides. What year did this come out? Had to be early 80s, so 1980. Unusual that doesn't have a mono side, but it's just white label single with stereo on both sides. Another one, Trooper. This is also a not for sale promo. This is Only a Fool. And this one is mono and stereo. What year did this one come out? Let's see if I can read the year. Little itty bitty type, man. I mean, it's got to be like 4-point type on this thing. Let's see here. 1982. So that's weird. 1981 from over here had. Since I got the magnifying glass out, let's just make sure that I was actually reading the year right on this one. But I'm pretty sure I was. Yep, 1980. Promo's got stereo on both sides, but here this one has mono and stereo. Again, Only a Fool. And then finally, great band. played a lot with Rush. Very unique sound, kind of progressive, kind of silly at times, but like, I don't know, Frank Zappa meets Rush. But this is Max Webster, and this is Night Lights. You don't see Max Webster singles very often, especially picture sleeve singles. I've had this one for quite a while, but this is a UK pressing, and I'm trying to see what's on the B-side here. Hangover, and just 2 songs on the B-side, Hangover and When Glass is Borrowed. What? Man, it's dark, I'm telling you. Actually, maybe if I put it into the light that's in front of me. When Glass in Borrowed Shoes. I'm sorry, man. Little itty bitty type. High Class in Borrowed Shoes. I should have known that. Duh, it's the name of the freaking album. Anyhow, very cool. Not the greatest, you know, picture sleeve in the world, but still, finding any Max Webster and picture sleeve is awesome. So there you go. That's my Canadian 7-inch update. I appreciate you all watching. Leave a message below. You know, recommend me some other Canadian bands. You know, I'm always looking for, you know, good music, especially if it's, you know, hard rock and heavy metal and thrash metal and even you know, even death metal. So there's some great stuff that came out of Canada. This mostly was all, you know, your classic rock stuff, but yeah, there's some. The first one that comes to mind is Rammer. Very underrated, fantastic kind of death thrash band out of Canada. All right, that's it. Appreciate y'all watching. God bless. Stay strong. What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters, and welcome to the Life to Metal. It's time for a rock metal. That's kind of weak, isn't it?